Clap your hands if you can hear me. 2 claps if you can hear me. All right, that was not enough claps. We'll do it one more time. Shane, come on, you got those guns. 2 claps. No, 2. Just 2 claps. All right. Promise there'll be more time to network here. I'm already behind. Sorry, Rochelle. All right. As I mentioned, we are transitioning into CRO. So we're going to have 2 sessions, and then we'll get into lunch. Just a quick check. Lunch is downstairs. So there's a bunch of tables, food, drinks, everything. Meet with the sponsors that we talked through this morning and others that we haven't spoken about yet, but that'll all be downstairs. We're not going to talk about first-party data again. We're going to get into CRO. So as I mentioned, I had to bring the hype man up here to make sure we have some energy going into lunch. So with that, I'm going to let Dylan and Drew take over. So we are going to get into CRO. So you guys I'm going to step over here. So spotlight's not on me. Yeah, Dylan, do a quick intro. Drew, and then, yeah, Dylan, get into your presentation.
Awesome. What's up, guys? Can you hear me? Nice. We're going to make this exciting. I love deep data, but we're going to make this a lot more relatable and super actionable, like immediately. Everything that I'm going to give in the presentation is going to be 100% free for you guys. It's going to take 0 budget for complications, 0 everything. So my goal is to literally double your business in a week from now, which is doable. I know it's bold, but we're going to do it. I'm the founder of SplitTesting.com, one of the largest CRO agencies in the world, and then Heatmap.com. We're the first revenue-based heat map that shows revenue on every single element on your website, which that data has never been accessible before.
I'm Drew Marconi. I'm a CEO and one of the founders at Intelligems. We do all sorts of A/B testing for Shopify brands. We started with price testing. Previously, I was in dynamic pricing and ride sharing. Before that, pricing consulting. So I'm going to take a seat and just listen to Dylan because this is where I'm going to get value. And then I think we'll do some questions. So excited for the discussion.
Awesome.
All right.
Sweet. Awesome, guys. So this is the framework. If you guys want to actually open this up, I really tried to make this directly applicable to this framework here. So everyone wants to do a doom, doom, doom.
You're going to explain the ice matrix?
Absolutely. But that will be later. Awesome. So what we've learned after 3,000 split tests. The first thing that I want to make sure everyone knows is that CRO is not split testing. There's many facets to CRO that you can do that are not split testing. Most brands don't even have enough traffic to run like true data integrous split tests. So there's so much to do before, and that's literally what this entire presentation is about. I'm actually probably not even going to mention split testing this entire thing because it's kind of like, garbage in, garbage out. Same thing with your understanding of your customers. And that's really what this all revolves around. So a little background on me. I'm the founder of SplitTesting.com, founder of Heatmap.com as well. I exited SplitTesting.com earlier this year, which was life-changing, super exciting, super grateful. Optimized over $3 billion in client revenue, so decent horse to bet on. I've done this a couple times. 2 exits of e-commerce brands as well. I own a portfolio of supplement brands as well on the side. Got a CEO who's crushing it over there. I played tennis in college. I think I'm playing with Sharma. I don't know if he's here or not, but playing tennis. I rock climb for fun, and one time someone called me handsome, and I don't mean to brag, but it was pretty cool. So the $3 billion strategy. I do love the incorporation of memes, so more money, more problems. We love you, Ron. Awesome. So I don't care if you guys are media buyers. I don't care if you're email marketers. I don't care if you do SEO, whatever you do. This is going to be tremendous value for you guys. This is not just about doing CRO. This is so fundamental. It's actually like, I'm not telling you like the sexy UX tests we're running and the new things that we're finding. This is like, because what works on one brand, like we have True Classic Tees as a client. And if you work with them, it's literally, even if you have an identical t-shirt, anything like that, it's not going to be the same of what wins for them versus you guys. So you have to go deep and integrous on yours. So there's going to be a bunch of QR codes. Grab those phones. Steal my secret sauce right here.
404ing.
404ing? Crap. Dylan at heatmap.com if you guys.
I'm kidding.
we're
I'm
not
kidding.
Dude, don't do me like that. That was rough. You guys getting it? Awesome, sweet. Okay, cool. Send that to your laptop. That's literally 7 years of testing. That's taken a while. So the CRO philosophy is pretty underwhelming. Whoever understands their customers the best wins. Literally it. Everyone asks how CRO gets so complicated. That is the entire answer. That's it. So my favorite way I always say is ask your customers what they want, give your customers what they want, and they'll give you what you want, which is money. So again, just understanding the customers, usually one of those two slice in for people. So in the spreadsheet, you guys will see that there's the actual framework. I usually use it in a funnel, but they did a cool circle for it. So there's customer feedback surveys, which is also interviews, like actually picking up the phone and calling customers. Heat maps and screen recordings, mission critical. Review mining, mission critical. Competitor analysis. I'm actually going to teach you guys how to not just funnel hack and copy your competitors, but actually how to do it for yourself and see what your competitors are doing and how to leverage it to, again, hopefully double your company. Data analytics, we went into GA4 and a lot of that type of stuff, but I'm just going to give you guys like the down and dirty. What I use takes 10 minutes. I'll probably give you guys all your old universal analytics stuff that you missed. I'll show you on one slide how to get all of those back. It's very easy. And then ultimately the ICE method of the testing roadmap, that's what's mission critical. Eventually that's the goal of CRO, right? So if you do all these things before, company's going to grow and you'll be able to actually run split testing. So it's kind of what it looks like. So looks like a little small for me here, but when I ask people about their business, like I still do sales for splittesting.com, and I say, hey, tell me about your business. Would love to hear more. Like, what are you doing on marketing, customers, all that type of stuff. And most people tell me, I'm coming to you because like our CPA is way too high. We run all our ads on Facebook. Our AOV is this number, and our product is like for weight loss, for example. But that's not how you should be looking at it, right? So based on here, who needs the product? What are the benefits you have, and how do you communicate with them? So instead of saying, I have Facebook, and think about it, like really like fundamentally try and change your thinking. I run Facebook ads to a weight loss supplement to middle-aged women. That is not it. You need to know what these women eat for eat for breakfast on Tuesday morning. Like you need to understand them so deeply. So if you really think about it, there's a bunch of middle-aged women who have joint pain, so they don't get to do the activities they used to do. And we actually found a solution for it. It's this, joint relief supplement that we have. And we find that most of these women actually spend time on Meta and Facebook. So we run ads there. And thinking about it completely differently, it's like a full 180 flip of, where can I get the lowest CPA, and there's all this data you can look at, but whatever's best for your customers is what's best for you, and will make you 1,000 times more money than all the data that you're running at. Because data only shows you what problems are there, or data just shows you where problems are, it doesn't show what the problems are. So this is showing you what the problems ultimately get to. So super fun concept called the gator and the judge. The way that I love presenting this is the gator is your primitive instinct. And this is breaking down consumer psychology into literally 2 images and a really simple fact. So the gator is your instinct, right? Gators don't have prefrontal cortexes. They're not very advanced. They're not super forward thinkers. They act 100% on instinct. If they're in the wild, they clamp down. Fun fact, they can eat once every 3 years. I found that out from a book. That's crazy. So the gator is all your natural instinct. Most people think that we're pretty logical beings, right? That's something that a lot of us would like to think. We're really logical, use our brains a lot. But something that's pretty mind-blowing is what percent of your brain do you guys think, random guess, what percent of the gator and your instincts actually handle your day-to-day life? 60? 80? 95%. So literally human beings are driven by instinct. It's influence. That's exactly what it is. So going back to the judge is kind of banging the gavel, and it's when there's friction, when there's a problem, you start to summon the judge. If you think about it, if you're in a dark alleyway and you're really scared, you're not going to just think, oh, I'm scared. Hold on, what can I do right now? That's the judge. Your gator, your primitive instincts, you're just gonna run away because you're scared. So same thing happens in micro ways on a website, which most people don't think about again. So we want the gator to be as happy as possible because gators like to purchase. There's something called confirmation bias, meaning that you want to be right. So when someone clicks on an ad, they literally want to buy. It's yours to lose. So hopefully for media buyers, that even changes your brain as well. which is people have confirmation bias, meaning that subconsciously they already want to buy from you when they get to your website. It's kind of like, cuz,
Sure.
don't fuck it up. It's literally, your guys just, like, the whole goal of CRO is just don't fuck it up. Like, that's literally how it goes. That's the whole way that you should be looking at it, from media buying to everything. So how do we actually do this? By understanding the customers and you guys hitting another QR code. So effectively, the way that we're able to keep the gator active is just by understanding who our customers are, right? Because the gator for every single brand is different because different people are visiting it. Even if you have two identical websites that sell the identical product, identical everything, but the domain is different, and the algorithm, different audiences will respond to it, you'll have completely different demographics. They might have overlap, but they're completely different. So did you guys get that one? Another 404 or not?
You're good.
Fuck.
Ooh.
Dylan@heatmap.com. Email it. It'll get sent over. So cool. Who's brave? Brad, can you grab a timer?
I got it.
Who's feeling brave? Someone get on a mic, please. I beg of you. Don't make me look awkward. I'm not going to ask you about your knowledge. Someone.
Stopwatch or timer?
Oh, a stopwatch.
Got it.
Or like, yeah, cool, perfect, awesome. Can you grab a mic? Can someone grab this fine gentleman a mic? By the way, you guys should meet Hove. Incredible CRO. Awesome.
Hello.
Cool. Are you guys ready to feel the gator versus the judge? Cool. You guys may have heard of the Stroop test before. This is what it is. So what I want you to do, and we're going to time it, right? So when we start and I flip the slide, that's when you start it.
Okay.
Cool. So I want you to read the names.
The names.
Right? There's going to be words
Okay.
and colors of the words. I want you to read the words out loud. We're going to see how long it takes you. Ready?
Yeah.
Go.
Blue, orange, green, red, purple, blue, orange, green, green, red, purple, blue, orange, red, blue, green, orange, purple.
Boom. How long was that?
9.41.
First off, that was awesome.
That was very good. That was
Awesome.
impressive.
So that was 9 seconds, right? So let's actually take a look. So we've been trained to read since we're like 2 or 3 years old. So that's actually the gator. Even though you think that you're analytical and reading everything and like making analysis, that's actually just your instinct working. So what actually needs to happen now is this. So now you're going to say the
You want to
color.
switch the colors? Okay.
Yeah, you're going to say the color. Ignore the word that's there. I want the color because this is the judge, because our brain has not it's like, oh my God, something's going wrong. So start that timer again. Bang, say the colors.
Okay. Blue, orange, green, red, purple, red, green.
Oh,
Red, purple, orange, purple, orange, red, blue, green, red, blue, green, orange, purple. I messed up
Awesome.
once or twice?
how long was that?
A long time.
Cool.
2 second penalty
That was
as well.
20 seconds. The first time was less than 9 seconds. So which would you guys prefer to have when you're hanging out on a website? Would you prefer for it to be that difficult, or would you prefer to just read some text? So that's where we are. Cool. Time check. We're awesome. Awesome. So this is now finally part that I had here. There's 6 parts to actually being able to understand the gator of your customer. My glasses are pretty bad, but I think by memory.
Customer feedback.
Customer feedback, heat maps and screen recordings, raw data analysis, competitor analysis,
Exit intent survey.
exit intents and user intent surveys. Cool. Or user surveys. Awesome. Customer feedback surveys. I think that was the one I gave you guys that I totally blubbed it up, but luckily I have some. So raise the hands who's read Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss. Hell of a book. He's an FBI hostage negotiator, and he treats all of life as micro negotiations. Cannot recommend enough. Actually, no, that's an Amazon link to go get the book. Not an affiliate. You guys can get full price on it. So go and read Never Split the Difference. It absolutely changed my life, even outside of just marketing. So might be a little hard to see here. I'm super blind, so we're gonna hang out over here. What's most important to you when buying sneakers, right? It's a very simple question. If like someone's a sneaker store that you're sending this to your last 90-day purchasers, so you're getting actual customers. Seems really simple, but a lot of people ask, why did you buy from us? But if I ask you like, why does your hair look like that today? You immediately get a little defensive, right? I'm like, what made you decide to make your hair that way? It's more comforting. You're going to give an answer. So starting questions with is or does, people can give a yes or no answer. And also when you start a question with why, people get defensive. But if you start a question with how or what, they must give a follow-up answer. And this is a micro negotiation. If you think about it, you're trying to get the most detail and understanding out of your customers. So what made you buy from us? So on the next ones I have here, I'm super blind still, so I'm gonna look over here. How interested are you in sneakers, right? I get them because I need them. And care about picking the right ones. I look forward to buying, casually shop a lot. What made you buy from, Raba's not here, but I use this old one. What made you buy from Raba's lame sneakers? What don't you like about, certain sneakers, right? There's a lot of questions you're able to ask to actually be able to get down to it. And again, this is not a post-purchase survey. This is after someone, typically 45 days, I recommend if you're gonna do it ever present, is to actually get and understand your customers, like, if it's right after they purchase, they haven't seen your product yet. It's just about the website. This is about the business as a whole. And they're gonna have a different answer 45 days after when they're actually using your sneakers versus right after they buy from your website. So feedback intel, let's say, we send out a customer feedback. This is gonna go back to the gator and the judge, big surprise. Number one was that preventing injuries is most important to these sneaker buyers. Number two is that running is how the sneakers are most commonly used. So, our customer base is, runners, and they care about preventing injuries. Which of these do you think would be better on your website? Left, absolutely, because they're runners, they're not tennis players, and you're super smart. So Gator loves this, right? Because those people are runners, because you actually did the research. Although these two images that I have right here look pretty darn similar, like it's very subtle, but you can have wild swings in the business by just having images like this. Because humans are trained, 80% of like what happens on a website is copywriting and images. It's not UX, it's not all the fancy dev stuff. It's literally that, it's nailing the message. So one more, preventing the injuries. Which headline do you think would be better? The number one doctor-approved mesh-based sneaker used by thousands of runners, or the number one sneaker for preventing injuries for runners? Also smart, good job, yeah. So that's the whole point. Again, it's just, this is a Gator-friendly headline. It's the people who are on your website that actually want to go, that actually want to buy from you. It's confirmation bias. That's what matters. And also, by the way, the first headline is not bad. Like, there's a lot of people that have success with those types of headlines. They could just be making a lot more money. So landing pages, these I think on my time check, I'm running a little low, so I'm just gonna skip through those guys.
You're good.
Cool. How else to use the Gator? Images and email marketing, right? So if you run a split test on your website or you get a customer feedback survey, if you find that like that image I showed you before converts higher, why the F wouldn't you guys put that in your email flows? That's like free money on the table. In your ad copy, if you find that preventing injuries is super important, why wouldn't you put that in your ad copy? On your ad creatives, why wouldn't you have Gator-friendly ad creatives? And then lastly, landing pages and images, but that kind of puts it together. And that's what I said before, about 80% are about the copywriting and the images you have.
Can I add a number 5 there, Dylan?
Please do.
Like offers. People love creating very complex offers, and you're trying to find, how do I give people a discount but limit it for myself? And we do a lot of offer testing and shipping threshold testing and price testing. The harder someone needs to think about how to earn the offer, the worse conversion rate is going to be. So like, we've had brands, everyone pays for shipping. They come to us, they're like, we want to try a free shipping threshold. We install that and conversion rate goes down because now the Gator hates math. Like, they don't want to be doing the addition. I have these sneakers, but now can I add socks to hit the shipping threshold? And that's when people bounce. So, there's a balance. You want to have offers that are profitable, but don't make them too complicated. Make them easy for the Gator to understand.
And one more as well, which is whatever is best for your customers is best for you. So if you really sit down and think about it after you've done a lot of this research, what can I sell to my customers together that will help them even more? Not how can I maximize AOV and what's our conversion rate on this landing page and all that bullshit. I just go and take a look at what will actually help them the most. Do they need additional content? Do I need to send them ebooks at the same time that they purchase? Is it better that if they buy 12 of these, objectively, like if it's a stress care product, like they need 12 days of this, at least at a minimum, to go and get the real effects, then sell them more for that purpose. So again, whatever is best for them is what's best for you. Don't try and maximize and tweak all the numbers on your website. That's bullshit. I've optimized 3 billion, and I literally have never looked at conversion rate of a total website once. Tells you nothing. So heatmap.com, shameless plug for us. We're the first heat map in the world with revenue attribution on every element on your website. So imagine Google Analytics, but on your website. It took 18 months to build. We have 22 full-time developers for the past year and a half. It was the hardest thing we've done. We've got a couple patents that's really separating this from the difference. Probably going to do a pretty sweet integration with Elevar, so you guys will be able to have that level of attribution even on your website now. So certain elements maybe bring in one button, like on that image there, there's 2 buttons there. If one button's bringing in $8,000 and one's bringing in $12,000, clearly you should prioritize something, and maybe that goes into your ads of men versus women and a lot of stuff like that. So you'd be mind blown. Media buyers, email marketers, obviously CROs, devs, anyone, designers who does that. Guarantee heatmap.com will blow your mind. If it doesn't, I will send you a personal check for $100. So the cheat code is that we are just looking for revenue per clicks and revenue per session, because every other heat map that you guys are using right now, if you're not on heatmap.com, just shows clicks. And I don't know about you guys, but my landlord does not accept clicks for rent. So we care about money. So what point is there in just seeing where people are clicking on your website? You don't know which clicks actually lead to purchases. So that's the whole reason I built this. I've been in the weeds on CRO for 5 to 7 years now, and I just always wished I had this tool. So I spent way more than I'm proud to say, way over budget, but we got here. So super excited to have you guys there. Deep CRO training, grab those phones. Running that.
What's the, is it
Take a,
share access, or is this one?
This one's just a blog, so hopefully I didn't fuck up this one. 404? Nice, love it. Cool. So this right here, if you guys go through this in literally less than 30 days, this will also help you double your business. Be really simple. Cool. Review mining. Positive reviews, negative reviews. Going through. Cool. Time check's still good. Value propositions to double down on, and then areas for additional clarity. Review mining can happen in 3 areas, which is directly on the website, through Amazon reviews if you do sell on Amazon, and then also just Googling your name if your company is big enough and just like seeing what people have to say, right? So those are the 3 areas for it. That's on the super awesome spreadsheet that you guys have before. We have a couple different tabs for each of these 6 that are in here, so you can actually like implement this on a spreadsheet after, other than just the worksheets that you guys have here. Competitor analysis. There's actually a framework that I've used. I've tweaked it a bajillion times, and it comes down to 4 pillars that you actually need to know. Number 1, and this is of your competitors. What value propositions are your competitors selling on? Whether your products are slightly different, they're identical, it doesn't matter. What is the angles that they are taking, right? Like, what's the value propositions they're saying they're better at? And then second comes the messaging and angle. Like, what angle are they talking to? Who are they talking to? Like, how is the copywriting working? And like, what angle are they taking in presenting what they're offering? Number 3 is imagery and visuals. Again, like I told you, the message, which is the first 2, and then imagery, which is third. Those make up 80%. Look at what images they're using on the website. That'll kind of understand if they're doing CRO or if they're growing, what's gator friendly for their website. Can kind of help you do that on your own instead of just copying their funnel and hoping for the best. This is how you actually do the competitor analysis. Lastly comes UX designs. UX is very important, but not as important as the others. And I'm sure a lot of people will hate me for saying that, but sorry. Cool. That's competitor analysis. User testing. I don't know if, raise a hands who's used user testing before. Usertesting.com is the most popular. Conversion Crimes is one that I use. Cool. Barely anyone. It's just people running through your website, right? You get to watch them. It's like screen recordings. But you get to ask them specific questions. So not only do you get to see what people are doing like in the wild on your website, but you actually get to see where there are pain points, where there are specific issues that they're running into. It's actually even more powerful than screen recordings by far. So the way that we bucketed this is that there's unmet needs, there's pain points, and there's friction. So first off, all 3 of these summon the judge. So you don't want any of these. But the ways that you're able to capture these is unmet needs is typically we find when people are scrolling up and down, like really far, like searching for something, meaning there's a need that they had when they got to the website of something they wanted to know about it. Kind of like imagine you're missing an FAQ. You'll see people open up all the FAQs, scroll back up and down. You'll be able to identify it as an unmet need. That's something that happens. Then there's a pain point where there's something that's literally preventing them from buying. That could be missing information. That could be a bug on your website. That can be nearly anything. But a pain point is the worst possible thing you could have on your website. And then friction is anything that, like, again, the judge, if anything feels a little off or in danger, even if it's micro danger and not something your pure instincts that as an animal can handle, That's friction. That's how the judge gets summoned. So that's user testing. Exit intent pop-ups. Raise of hands, who's used exit intent pop-ups? Still super sad, but that's okay. Thought this was a CRO conference.
Everyone's doing it. They don't want to admit it.
You guys nervous? Do I scare you? Damn. All right, whatever. We'll take it.
The only hands that raised were the SaaS guys, the SaaS exit intent pop-ups.
Heck yeah. Awesome. Well, ecom folks and literally everyone here, you're leaving money on the table. So you know how email pop-ups would typically come up? What exit intent pop-ups are is asking a question instead. So should you leave exit intent pop-ups on forever? No, because you'll be missing out on some money. But there's certain pages you could run it on. There's like some really advanced softwares that allow you the full capability to do it. But for exit intent pop-ups, there's one golden question that I've asked. I am blind, so I will return over here. Quick question. Did you find the information you needed on the page? I've split tested like at least 30 variations of this. From there, again, this actually, funny enough, is not a what or how question, but done by design, because they can give a yes or no answer. The answer is either yes, I found what I needed, or no, I did not find what I needed. The first option is there anything we could do to improve the page even more? Because they said yes, they found it. Then you get incredible insights on how to make it even further and how to further harness the gator. If they answered no, sorry to hear, can you tell us what was missing? Do it on your website and don't fuck it up. Again, I'll say it every time. Data analysis. This is raw data. This is where GA4, I'm not going to go super far into it. It's going to be pretty simple. You know how there's like engagement, monetization, like all those ones on the left, right? So data tells you where problems are, but they don't tell you what those problems are. So that's why I always say, like, when you're sitting in there all day, all this qualitative stuff is, like, in my opinion, 10 times more powerful than actually identifying the problem. Like, the data gets you to a certain point, because if there's drop off on a certain page, what's creating the drop off? Well, I have no fucking clue. There's just drop off on that page. Then you got to go send a CRO to do it, right? So the CROs that just look at data and don't look at the qualitative are really not going to get great results. So my 4 that I use is, if you go to engagement, pages and screens, engagement, landing pages, monetization, checkout journey, and custom, you can put in a path analysis, which is people visited this page, went to this one, this one, this one, each of those. So there's the 4 that I find like the most useful. I'm leaving out many, but if I had 2 minutes to analyze your Google Analytics, those are the 4 I would look at. So if you see here, it might be hard to look in. Here I have my conversion rate, I have my AOV, I have my revenue per session, I have my conversion rate, I have new users, returning users, I have all the metrics that was on Universal Analytics. Raise of hands, whose report looks like this? Very few. Well, guess what? You're in for a treat. It's going to take you 2 minutes. So when you're looking at a report, you see, this is on the image on the left. On the top right, there's just going to be a little magic wand of just edit. It's that simple. Then you go over to metrics right there, and you just click what you want to add in, and you drag and drop. Congrats, you got your Universal Analytics reports back. It's that simple. So take a picture of that if you want. Like, it's super simple. So like, everyone's frustrated. I forgot who said they were on for 2 hours the other day or yesterday, but this would have avoided.
We won't
that.
name names.
Yeah, we won't say names. So sorry, dude. Cool. I'm going to zip through this. This is a proprietary study I ran, and I trademarked it. It was super fun. Of like nearly 5,000 brands we have at this point. So between 5,000 per month and 15 million per month is what we have in here. So this is 2 different groups of users, technically 4. You have mobile users and desktop users. You also have new users and returning users. So that's why I call it the quadrants of traffic, that you first time mobile, first time desktop, or returning, new desktop and returning desktop. Cool, I did that right. So you have these 4 groups of people, right? So these are pretty much the sources of where those people are going to come from. Like, again, your returning users are mostly going to come from retargeting, paid traffic, or, email, SMS, yada, yada. I feel like I don't need to really tell you guys much about that. But this is what's super cool, man. 68% of your customers are going to be mobile new users. And this is on average across like 5,000 stores. 14% are new desktop, 14% are returning mobile, and 3% are returning desktop. Kind of makes sense when you sit and think about it. Most people say mobile is 80%. It's a little over 80%. Next, this is the conversion rate of each of those quadrants. So you have a 0.5% conversion rate of each of your new mobile users. Your desktop users are going to be 1.45. Everyone knows desktop converts higher than mobile, but mobile is 80+% of your website. So this is the actual conversion rates of each. So if you're doing some ads, media buyers don't yell at me. I've actually found some success of running to mobile or to desktop in very specific ways in different campaigns. I'm sure everyone's got an opinion and hates me and says, shut up, you're the CRO guy, not media buying, but to their own. So yeah, these are two out ones that don't really matter too much. Should have cleaned those up. But that is it. Make Gator-friendly websites. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you want to follow my newsletter, follow that QR code. Second QR code, that's to follow me on Twitter or X, whatever the hell you call it. Thank you so much, and I hope you found value from this.
Awesome job.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, so you might be wondering, I thought the title of this was How to Transition from Google Optimize. Well, we lied. We played a trick. Well, let's do some hands. Who has used Google Optimize to test anything? Pretty much the entire room. So Google Optimize was a great, my view on it, it was a great way for people who maybe back in the day, I'm aging myself, but Monetate and Optimizely and some of those other tools, it was too complex, too expensive, et cetera. But now Google Optimize opened up the door for anyone to experiment, to start dabbling. Now with the sunsetting of Google Optimize, who thinks that they still have Google Optimize experiments running today? Who's still running Google Optimize experiments? Please, nobody raise your hand, because Google Optimize was sunset at the end of September. But the reason why we want to dive deep into, again, questions and data analysis is instead of just, hey, Optimize is done, what's the next tool, and just keep that same process you've been going through of just picking out things to test because you think it's going to perform better, is use this as a reset in your philosophy of experimentation. So everything that Dylan, I'm not going to go through the Gator and Judge and everything, but it's an amazing framework to follow, and just talking to your customers and just meeting them where they are. Start with that before you start just jumping into a new tool. So that's the transition from Google Optimize. So Drew, I'm gonna ask you a few questions. You already gave the intro, so people know a little bit about you. After your 30-second intro, they know a lot. Can you just provide a landscape of the different, let's call them A/B testing tools just to keep it simple, but what's the landscape of different tools out there? What does that look like?
Yeah, I'm actually curious. Have people gotten locked out of Optimize? I got back yesterday from a 2-week honeymoon, so I kind of missed, and I haven't checked our instance.
Yeah, they're probably.
Congrats.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I got married a year ago. I wasn't fishing for applause, but I'll take it. Are we fully locked out? Yeah, damn. Well, so a little bit depends on, like, there's lots of different use cases for testing. You may want to do it across different channels. Like, you may have an agency who's running it. You may be doing it in-house. You may have more development resources, less. So there's a whole bunch of different criteria by which you're going to approach it. I would break down the market, and I heard Dylan answer this question 2 weeks ago, so I'm stealing the answer in part. You have, like, your enterprise solutions. So Optimizely, dynamic yield, which would be, they have, like, more personalization features. I'd throw Monetate in there. We're talking, like, minimum probably $50K spend and up. I see very few brands under $50 million a year doing it. You get, like, if you have a ton of different domains or lots of stuff coming from the server side and an app, you want to run all sorts of crazy test setups and have, like, you know, compliance levels. That's where you're going to look. I think most of the features that you get up there can be found then at, like, the next level down. So that's A/B Tasty is a popular option. I'd put Chameleon in that. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. In that bucket. Convert.com. So there, you know, you're spending based off traffic levels. Maybe you can start around, oh, VWO would be a big name in here too. $99 up to, still going up to probably $50K a month. Yeah. Dylan runs a lot of traffic. Yeah, they take advantage of the big customers. So they're, like, you have developer tools. You typically have some no-code tools as well. So if you have, like, marketers who want to drag and drop, you have those tools there. I would put, like, IntelliGems, we're kind of at that level, but then there's e-commerce specific tools. So, like, we exclusively work with Shopify, and we get all your data server side, so there's no scraping and the data is reliable. Shoplift is another option in there in the App Store. Convert.com has, like, some pretty good Shopify integrations as well. So, like, I think it's worth going e-com specific unless there's a reason you need a generic tool. And then there's, like, a lot of spot solutions. So, if you just want to test upsells, well, Rebuy has like in-app upsell testing. If you just want to test emails, you can go do it within Klaviyo. So there's a lot to be said for like, hey, if I'm not trying to run huge tests across experiences, can I use what tools I already have? Like there's probably an experimentation feature in there. And then there's a lot of like $9 to $50 apps in the App Store that I would just like say your mileage may vary, be a little careful about what you install, understand what's being thrown into the site. Like there is going to be a performance cost from testing tools to the site. People who like build good software are going to minimize that. We've seen some huge slowdowns just from like random apps people have installed. So it can be really helpful for spot solutions, but just go measure your speed after they install.
Across that spectrum of tools, what questions would you have people ask themselves to determine where do they fall in that bucket? Just like a simple question.
I would figure out like, who do you want to be involved in testing and how big an effort is it going to be?
Like in-house versus agency or in-house versus individual?
In-house versus agency is one top level. Like, do I want to test purely content? Like I want to test landing pages and imagery and copy. That's one set of things I would call like content testing. Do I want to run more advanced like experiences on the site? So change my recommendation algorithm, test different cart modules. I'm going to need like some more API and code access there. Do I want to test offers, prices, shipping rates? Okay, that's now a totally different set of tools because we're changing the front end of the site and we're also touching checkout. That's kind of what like makes IntelliGems unique. Or do I just want to test emails? And how much filtering am I going to do? So that's question one. Like, what's my use case? Use cases, do I want to do it in-house? Question two is like, how much dev resources do I want to dedicate to this? If you have a dev in-house, you're going to get way better performance if you can set up tests like using APIs, using CSS and JavaScript injection. That's great. Go find a tool like that has like good tools for your developers. If you're just going to be the marketer or the site manager, director of e-commerce who's going to be moving things around, pointing and clicking, you're going to focus on like what has intuitive no-code test setups, what has data I can read. So that's like a second question. Do I have dev resources? How technical can I get? And then the third question is what data is going to matter to me and how much do I care about owning the data? So we talked a bunch about BigQuery. Like I think everyone should be, and this is going against our interests, should be pushing like our test data into their own warehouses. That way, like if you want to install or move on, you own that data. You know which customers were in which tests. You can link that with all your other analyses. So I would understand like, is the data exportable? If you're not going to be setting up a BigQuery warehouse anytime soon, okay, let's look at the dashboard. What metric do I care about? Do I want to be able to filter by channel? Do I just care about revenue per session? So there's some variations on dashboards like and data access. I think it's super important and probably I like wish our buyers asked about that more.
Yeah. All right, now I'm gonna ask a question. You have to raise your hand. It's a binary question. Who's testing in Q4? Raise your hand. Who's going to be experimenting testing on your website in Q4? All right, now who's not going to test in Q4? Who's going on a code freeze? Gotta be everyone else. So speak to those that are testing in Q4. What are some examples? By the way, I'm not judging one way or another, just teeing it up for you. What are some examples of good tests, this maybe for both of you, to start experimenting now to maximize November and December? Because I've seen it done for 15 years, and I've seen those that continue to test do really well, but obviously there's risk there depending on the test and complexity of it.
Run the AA tests and run your validation tests first. That came up earlier, but like you want to de-risk testing during that period. You're having a lot of traffic. I think right now you can be experimenting with some different offers, like go take some different segments of your email, carve off some like ad traffic. You're probably debating internally, like what should our offer be? Go spin up a test on some traffic, see what offer resonates, what's generating the right combination of conversion, AOV, profit, and giving you the best like margin per site visitor. I would experiment with a bit of personalization. Like, are you gonna just blast the same thing to everyone? Or do you wanna have different, headlines on the page, different value props, depending on who you think your audience is.
So personalized based on UTM codes. So where are they coming from? What campaign are they a part of? So you can even do like down to creative.
Exactly. And you could go into Klaviyo, find your different segments, who bought what, go see, hey, does this landing page resonate more with this group of folks or that group of folks? You need a lot of traffic to, I think, do that in the next month. But I think gives you a good basis for then eventually having like a bit of a layered approach to where you're driving traffic during the holidays.
One thing I'd add on that is offer testing, which you first mentioned. Like, do you have certain bundles? Are there groupings of products? Is there like a certain quantity that people like the most? So like you need those fundamental offering questions because you're trying to scale the heck out of it during Q4, during that season. So why would you guys stop and waste all this time that you have right now up until the go button has to get hit for that Black or Cyber Monday? So test your offers fundamentally, right? Like UX tests right now, brand new messaging, maybe not, but the actual offer itself, that's what you're selling. So just focus on the offer, nothing but the offer, and maybe some landing page tweaks. Other thing I always recommend, for my clients, I actually have like sale templates. And that's something you guys can also work on now. It might be a little late, maybe this is for in the future, but like your July 4th sale, your Labor Day sale, your Valentine's Day sale, like you can have a template for each of those that you can start testing now. So that's something that I always recommend people have going into Black Friday, Cyber Monday. Those people absolutely crush it, others don't. So really just getting that offer testing right now, mission critical.
Yeah. And what can you take out? Like go run heat map, see what buttons. I see such complicated buy boxes on the PDP. Figure out what's not driving revenue. Okay, subscriptions, maybe they're not working. Put it as a project for next year. Just take that button out, take the option away. Like you want to drive people to simplicity, have them buy what they want to buy, what you want them to buy. Like start cutting rather than adding things right now.
Are you guys going to be at lunch?
Yeah.
Who wants
Very
to talk
hungry.
CRO at lunch? Go sit at their table.
This guy.
All right, no Q&A this round, but grab them at lunch, ask them any questions that you want. Give a round of applause for Dylan and Drew.
Thank
Awesome
you.
job. Well done. Awesome job.